Okay, so I'm going to go over Chapter 5 a little bit and try to make sense of these names. So Rule 9 is on page 89, okay? And it's talking about if you have identical names and with addresses, then you're going to need to refer to the address to alphabetize identical names. So, therefore, if you look at it like this, city, state, street names, and then house or building numbers. So this is the order that you're going to have to go in right here. City, state, street names, house, and building numbers. Okay? If you look at it this way first, it will help you in the long run. Even though that your street names and your house numbers are going to have rules in between. Okay? So, if you look on page 90, if you look here and you see that, first of all, we have Seaside Inn. Seaside Inn. I hope you can see this, okay? And then, because these are identical names, then we're going to have to alphabetize by city first, okay? Then we alphabetize by state, okay? And that's our first two orders of operation here on this sheet, okay? Now, if you go over to page 91, you have the key unit is subs to go, and it's the same on all of them. So then we have to go to city, and then state, and then we go to the street names. Okay, and if it's a digit like 8th Street, then 8th Street's going to come before the word 8th Street. The number is going to come before the word. Okay, if you have a compass direction like southwest or northwest, like an SW or NW, then that's going to have to come before the street number. So you may need to go back and look at the rules on page 89. Just go back and make you some notes there so that you understand the rules of numbers coming before letters. Okay? Now, if you go over to page 92, and here's some examples of, make sure you can see these. The first one here, United Methodist Church and United Methodist Church. So they're the same names. So the next thing we need to look at is the city. The city is Salisbury on both of them. Then we look at the state, Massachusetts and Vermont. So according to this is correctly alphabetized because Massachusetts is going to come before Vermont. So we didn't even have to get into the street names. Okay. B, Miss Andrea Moore, Miss Andrea Moore. Salem, Salem. Oregon, Massachusetts. Massachusetts is going to come before Oregon, so the answer is no. C, the Granite Times, the Granite Times. 1 Martin Street, 371 Martin Street. In this case, numbers come before words, so this is no. This needs to come before this one. Okay. If you look at D, the Burger Barn, the Burger Barn. Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh. Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania. So then we go to the street name, 17th and 8th. This is also out of order because 8 comes before 17. Okay? And then E is going to be no, and F is going to be yes. And look at F, we're looking here at the compass, south versus north. South is going to come after north alphabetically, so the answer is yes. N comes before S. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to talk about is government names, and you have local, state, and government. Okay, those are the three things that you need to look at, is local, state, and government. Okay, so with local, you're going to look at the city name first, city name, and then you're going to be looking at city of, it could be county of, it could be department of, it could be anything like that. But you're going to have the city name first, and then you're going to have these pieces in the middle, second, and then you're going to have the most distinctive name, and that could be like the aquatic center. It could be the sanitation department. So it would be Department of Sanitation. Okay, so that's how you look at local names. Now state names is kind of the opposite. You're going to have the state name first, okay, and then secondly you may have the I'm not going to say office because I don't want that to confuse you. It could be the agency name or the department name, something like that. And then the last units would be like office of or department of. So you see this comes last, whereas in local it comes in the middle. Okay, this comes last. That's the difference between local and state. And you may want to look at that government word file that I have in Blackboard that kind of breaks down these levels of local, state, and government, and kind of see how the hierarchy works in that manner. Now for government names, if we go over to page 97 and 98, the government names use levels. Okay, levels. The first level is going to always be United States government, and you'll spell it out right there, United States government. Then the second piece of the government name is going to be whatever the department is. So you have the department name here. Okay, and then the third level will be the actual agency name. So if you look on page 98, gives you some examples here. First level is United States government. It will always be that way. Level 2, we have the Department of Commerce, so Commerce, Department of, National Weather Service. So this is the actual business. This is the department in that business. Okay. Now I want to look at the cards for job 3 and find out what I did with those. Okay, here they go. Okay, so in job 3, you got to have the cards 37 through 54. Okay, and you've got to have 6 cross-reference sheets and report sheet 3. Okay, so report sheet 1 and 2 have been put together alphabetically, and you're going to do the same thing with report sheet 3. You're going to incorporate these names into report sheet 2. So 1, 2, and 3 is going to have all of them together. Okay, report sheet 4 will be a separate new report sheet by itself. Okay, so this is the first one here. Department of Commerce says federal government. If it's federal, okay, then we know it's government. We need to write United States government, spell that out. I just abbreviated it here. But United States government commerce is the only thing you need to put on here. So you're going to file it under the U's, United States government commerce. Okay. 38 is going to be a regular business name, and in this case, we'll underline the key unit and draw our diagonals. So it's going to be Taylor's, and remember you ignore punctuation. Digital Systems. So you're going to file it under the T's. Okay. 39. City of Skokie Recreation and Parks Department. In this case, Skokie City of Recreation and Parks Department. Just spell it out. 40. South End Attorneys is going to be business name as written. Here is the United States Department of Treasury. Again, this is a federal government. You don't have to worry about the address or anything like that. United States Government Treasury. It's the only thing you need to put. 42, this is Simon's Computer and More. You're going to have some more of these with the same name, but you'll have to alphabetize it by the number, street number. So you may have one that is, I'm trying to remember what, let's see, this is 112. And we also have, this one here is Walnut Street. Don't look at the 900. We have North Walnut Street. This is the street name, not the building number. Okay, North Walnut Street. So you're going to have to look at that and compare it to that. Remember, numbers come before letters. Okay, and then there is another one right here, 13th Street, North 13th Street. So you've got North 13th Street, North 112 Avenue, and then North Walnut Street, whichever one that was. So you're going to have those three names, but it's going to be based off of the actual street name, street right there. Okay, so Urban Impressions is a business name. It's indexed as written. Rick's Anywhere or Newware, however you want to pronounce it. Because there's hyphens here, we have to put it all together. File it under the R's. This here is a foreign name, and because it's a translation, this is the English spelling, so we're going to have to file it under Royal Bank of the English spelling. Okay, and then we'll do a cross-reference for this name right here. Do a cross-reference just as you see that right there. So you're going to have it filed under the R's for Royal, and this one filed under the R's for Royale. Okay. There's your Simon and Computers and More at North Walnut Street. This is another federal government, United States Government Transportation. One Stop Cleaners. This is 3 units here. Okay, that's going to be a number. So 1 is probably going to be your first number, so I would say 48 is going to be the first number under the numbers on your report sheet. Skokie City Fire Department, Skokie City of Fire Department. Here's another Simons and More. This is another foreign name. So again, we have to write the translation in English right here. So in this case, we're going to do Suriname Republic of. This is what we have to code it as. Okay. Cross-reference is going to be 51X, and this is what your cross-reference is going to be right here. So you're going to file the original under the S's. The cross-reference will be under the R's. And you always see the original, okay, which will be this right here. So you'll cross-reference this just like it is, and then put C, Suriname Republic of. Skokie City of Police Department. Okay, this was a name change, so we're going to code it as True Company. For 53 will be True Company. We'll file it under the T's, and then we need to do 3 cross-reference on 3 blank cross-reference sheets. One for Taylor, Rustin, Udi, one for Rustin, Udi, Taylor, and one for Udi, Taylor, Rustin. So once you get all of these done, then you will go in and incorporate these into report sheet 2. Now here's another translation. Okay, Senegal Republic of is going to be our 54. We'll cross-reference it to just like you see right here, and cross-reference and code that under the R's, file it under the R's. And that's your 54 cards. Okay? And I told you which ones basically will cross-reference with an X. Okay? And that's your report sheet 3. I also have a video in Blackboard for report sheet 4. And next week,